Good morning or evening or day, wherever you may be, people. This is TokYo-Yo Talk. My name is T, and I'm here with, how should we call you? What would you prefer?
Lorenzyo cubing. That's fine. Lorenzyo cubing's fine.
All right, Lorenzyo Cubing, who I'm sure everybody knows. He's prolific on Instagram, he's on YouTube, he does everything under the sun if it's related to Yoyo, which is pretty awesome. But I did have one quick question about the name. Where's the cubing come from? I saw somewhere that was from Rubik's Cubes.
Oh yes. So when I first started this channel, I was both into yoyoing and cubing, right? Because I've been cubing for like way longer than yoyoing, so I thought I would make it like a cubing slash yoyoing channel. So I did upload like a few cubing videos, but I ended up just like uploading a whole bunch of more yo-yo videos because I felt like that was the thing that was really taking me off. But then I still do cubing every now and then, and so yeah, that's why it's called Lorenzyo cubing.
Do you feel like the skill toy kind of like keeping your hands busy kind of stuff? Does that go together well? Do you feel like you're good at one? If you're good at one, you should be good at the other. Or are they pretty different?
Well, with are you talking about like yo-yoing and cubing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo-yoing, it's more like there's more possibilities, and then you're sort of doing more movement with your hands, but then it's more original. But then with cubing, it's sort of like a lot of people do the same thing. It's just like how fast you can do it, and it's more like with your mind. So it's a really different experience, cubing and yo-yoing. So I wouldn't say that like after I did cubing, yoyoing came to me. It was a completely different experience to learn. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. All right. So as we said at the beginning here, Lorenzyo is all over YouTube. We've got several series going, the throw score, and doing live streams now, and reviews, unboxings, and then on Instagram posting so many tricks and doing live streams and stuff. So you're quite busy on the social media, right?
Yep. And yeah, I just try to put myself out there, and try the series. Like I just it was something that came to my mind for a long time. Like so, I just started the live streams. The reason I do a lot of live streams is because I want to try to like interact with my followers like face to face. A lot of times, because I know that sometimes I'm really lazy to answer the comments, so that's why I do the live streams. And then the reviews, it was just something different because I know there's a lot of people that like talk a lot, but then you go really in depth. So I think that you're like the master at doing those types of reviews. But then for me, I'm not that good at like talking, so I just try to score it, try to get like straight to the point about like the skill like of the dimensions of the yo-yo and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one review series or like if you wanted to like boil down the information, I think throw score is my favorite thing on the yo-yo internet right now. So concise.
Yeah.
And it's so clean, and it's so as you said, it gets to the point. And I think like myself and a few other reviewers out there, it goes on for like over 10 minutes. Or I had a couple of videos that were like 20 minutes until I cut them down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I guess I had a couple other questions here. So you said kind of you're putting yourself out there more, which I think is worked out for you. You recently got sponsored, right?
Yeah, I got sponsored by the company TokYo.
And so, can you tell me a little bit more about TokYo? Like I know about them, but perhaps the people listening don't.
TokYo, it's a fairly new company, and I know that a lot of people don't know this, but the person that owns TokYo is named Sai Ding. He's actually manufactured a lot more yo-yos for different companies before. Like I think he's manufactured for Yo-Yo Factory. That's all I've heard of so far. I think he's manufactured for a lot of different companies, but then yeah, TokYo is like his own company. It's fairly new. Well, I mean it's sort of new. It's just that they don't have too many throws, but then even though they don't have too many, they're very cheap and they're also very high quality, and I really like that. Like after I tried like the Quantum, because the Quantum was like my first TokYo that I tried, I knew that like it was going to be one of my favorite companies, and then So after I got sponsored by them, I was like, oh, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
So did they come to you, or like how did that come about?
So like the story was, I'm really good friends with JD Steele. He's a 2003 world champion and owner of Yoyo Best Buy. So, and he's also really good friends with Sai Ding, the owner of TokYo-Yo. And Sai Ding was saying he was looking for a kid in America to sponsor because most of the team players are in Korea and in China, and there's not really that it's not really that popular in America. So he was looking for somebody to sponsor in America, and Sai already knew. He already knew about me because I'm sure that like a lot of you guys see that I promote Yoyo Best Buy a lot because I get a lot of my yo-yos to review and make videos with from Yoyo Best Buy. And sometimes I get the yo-yos earlier, like before they release, and the TokYo Quantum was one of them. I got the yo-yo before it was released, and I made like one of the first videos out there. So he already knew about me, and then after he's watched my channel and a lot of my stuff, he decided that I would be, even though I don't compete as much as other people, because a lot of people get compete and get sponsored. I like promote a lot. I promote through my YouTube channel and get stuff out there. So he sponsored me, and now I try to promote TokYo as much as I can. And the cool thing is he was also generous enough to still allow me to do reviews and videos on other companies. So I'm not just limited to TokYo. I could also still promote Yoyo Best Buy and other companies. So yeah, being sponsored by TokYo it's really cool. His siding is a really cool guy.
That's pretty cool that you're allowed to still check out other stuff. I know some companies lock you in to their stuff and are pretty strict about that. But also, recently, people were asking me, what do I? Of course, everybody wants to know how do you get sponsored, or what do you do to get sponsored. But my question was more like, do people feel like it's worth the work and what they have to do, and then what you have to maintain? Is the sponsorship like what you expected? Are you happy with it? Or are you like, whew, now I gotta work hard? Or what's your feeling about it? What basically is it all it's cracked up to be?
Well, it's sort of like if you love yo-yoing and that's one of your really strong passions, think about if yo-yoing was your job. That's pretty cool, right? So I try not to think of it as too much work, but even though it is work to promote and get all the yo-yos out there, I think I'm doing something that I love, and I'm gaining I'm it's like a job to yo-yo. I mean, that's sort of a dream come true. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth the work putting in, because you're doing something you love as a job, and I think that's pretty awesome to hear, from a kid's perspective, yo-yoing as a job. Yeah.
Good answer. Okay. Yeah, so I guess with the sponsorship, and then you mentioned competing, and I've watched your videos where you went to competitions and stuff. Do you have any plans for the future, as far as the channel, Lorenzyo Cubing, and the sponsorship? Are you going to be competing more? Are you going to do more promotion with the TokYo instead? Do more social media stuff? What's the plan for the channel and for you in the future?
I'm definitely planning on competing more, because I know that I usually don't compete as much, but now that I have the sponsorship, and then I'm getting a little bit more confident on stage, I'm definitely trying to compete more, and get seen as the TokYo player at the competition. And then I definitely want to grow the channel a lot bigger, maybe get as big as maybe Brandon Wu, because I want to try to get as big as him, because he was my inspiration to do YouTube. But right now I can say I'm satisfied at the state that my channel is at right now, and whatever I can do to make it grow bigger and larger, I'll definitely do that. So yeah.
TokYo did a collaboration. Who would you want it to be with? So if Sai comes to you and says, who do you want to collab with? It's your choice. What company are you gonna work with to do like one collab project?
I definitely would want to do a collaboration with Caribou Lodge because before I was sponsored by TokYo, Caribou Lodge was my favorite, like one of my favorite companies. Even though I don't have a lot of Caribou Lodge yo-yos, it's just that when I did try their yo-yos and like the couple of yo-yos that I have from them, it's just like it was one of my like favorite companies to play with. It fit my style, so if I were to collab with another company, I would see if I could make a collaboration between a yo-yo from Caribou Lodge and a yo-yo from TokYo, and try to make one cool yo-yo that fits my style. Yeah, that's Caribou Lodge. Caribou Lodge.
That would be really interesting. Canadian-Chinese collaboration. That would be pretty special. I know there's other companies like Magic Yo-Yo did the carp fin, which is designed in Munich. So it seems like pretty unique stuff comes out of the multi-country projects. What trend do you really like in yo-yo now that you feel like needs to expand more? Design element that you want to see explored, or a new metal type, or just a promotional type, or something that you feel like needs to be bigger?
That's a hard question. Let me think. A design trend that I like a lot more than a lot of other yo-yos. So, you know how there's a lot of finger spin yo-yos, right? The one thing that I don't like about some of the finger spin yo-yos today is how it all has that design where the diameter of the face of the cup is really large, and then the width is really like sharp, and it goes in like it sort of reminds me of like a ram's horns. Like it goes inside really slickly. Like for example, the Horizon, the Yakare, the C3 finger spin. They all have that same sort of, design like that. The one thing that I like more, like what I would like is, a normal shaped yo-yo. Like, like maybe let's take, for example, like, a rounded shape that has a normal diameter and isn't too big. Like a normal, let's say like a normal yo-yo that would usually use in a competition, but has a really good finger spin ability. Like, I really like that design choice, and that would definitely be like a design that I would use in the future if I ever made or designed a yo-yo. That's a design choice I would make.
All right. Well, let's see here. I guess we'll get into Instagram questions here, because that was my basic stuff.
Instagram, all right.
Yeah. So we had 17 comments here, which is pretty cool. A few of these I'm gonna kind of skip through because some of them repeat. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one. Anyone who follows your Instagram is going to know, but the age-old question, Sam DeLeo and Blaze Decker, what's your favorite yo-yo?
My favorite yo-yo. Okay.
Age-old question.
So, let me see. I think my favorite yo-yo, even though I'm sponsored by TokYo, like, I have to say my favorite yo-yo is the Caribou Lodge Orca, because I know that I'm sponsored by TokYo. I try to promote TokYo a lot. I really love their yo-yos, and my second favorite yo-yo is the TokYo Turbine, which is the unknown and the TokYo collab. But the one yo-yo that I know that you guys seen me use it a lot in a couple of my videos, a couple of my Instagram posts. But my favorite yo-yo that really fits my style is the Caribou Lodge Orca. And if I were that's what I was saying earlier. Like if I were to do a collab between TokYo and Caribou Lodge, I would make something, maybe similar. So yeah, the Caribou Lodge Orca definitely fits my style. That's a truthful statement right there.
And actually, you answered another question too, which was the second part of that was Blaze Becker asked, "What was your favorite TokYo?" So thank you very much. I saw the video of that this morning. The turbine, thing looks pretty smooth.
Yep, it's a really good yo-yo.
Zember Flazex asks, "Do you like Counter-Strike Go?"
Okay, so the thing about that, video games. I am not good at video games. I'm always the one guy where if there's a guy hang out and everybody's playing video games, I'm the person in the background that's on Instagram or on my phone while playing yo-yos. I don't play video games. That's the thing about me. I just, I watch stuff and I do skill toys and I do music and stuff. But Video games, that's not really a thing for me. Maybe app games. I do apps, like app games, but like hardcore video games, like, you know, like all those stuff, I'm not too much into. Like the only video game I'm really trying to get into right now is Super Smash Brothers, like Super Smash Melee, Super Smash Brothers, because a lot of my friends play that game, and you know, I don't want to feel too left out, but that's like the only one. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing about it.
Who's your main in Smash?
Mario. Mario's my main.
All right, nice.
Yes.
Next is from Corrales. I really like his videos. Do you like Mike and Ike's?
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
There's
What's
this little
that?
green and red and yellow. Green and red and yellow little fruity candies. They come in the little flat cardboard box. No.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We'll forgive you. Usually you can get it at the movie theater, and it's super stale.
All right.
Next up is Brad _ Hawaii Vibes, who says, "What was your favorite? What was your first yo-yo?"
My first yo-yo was it was called, okay, so I know this is it's dumb, but it was called the Competition Pro. I got it from Target, and it was a dollar store yo-yo, but it was a pretty good it was a pretty quality dollar store yo-yo. Like it wasn't that bad, honestly. Like it just had, you know, it was imperial shaped, it was plastic, and it had that, you know, the sort of bearing where it's like, you know, it's black, and then you put it has the crease for the string. But, you know, as my first yo-yo, it wasn't that bad, you know. It definitely had the skill to teach somebody how to bring a yo-yo back up, because it wasn't, you know, it was like a modern day two-way yo-yo. Like it still sleeped, and it was okay, like with the weight and to bring it back up. So yeah, that was my first yo-yo.
Next is from Yo-Yo Justin, who says, "What do you think makes a good trick, and who are your favorite players?"
Okay, so what makes a good trick, I would say, is, so you can't be too slow, because I know there's a lot of techie players out there, but the one pet peeve of mine that I really don't like is like when techie players go extremely slow just to move the yo-yo. Like, so I would say a trick that has a little bit of everything, a little bit like of speed, a little bit of speed with tech in there, and it has like a constant movement. It has like, you know, a constant movement that's, you know, techie. And my favorite players, I would say, that's a hard question. I need to think about this. I would say, performance-wise, I like Gentry Stein. Trick-wise, I like trick style-wise, I guess, like, I don't know, Yuki, I like their Yuki Spencer or Zach Gormley, but my favorite players are the underdogs that are here in California, like Angelo Aguirre, Mark Zuno, James Pratt. Let me name one more: Hunter Fierstein, and Tomoaki Clark, Eugene Joe, and yeah, those are like all my favorite players. I root for the underdogs because something that I've seen is these younger generation players are coming up with a lot more cooler tech and tricks, and I think they like for example at BAC, if anybody is watching was at BAC, I think you guys as well as me noticed that not a lot of the older, usually famous players got too much hype. Like it was mostly like the younger players that got a lot of hype. Except for Evan Nagal. Evan Nagal is like all of our favorite over here in California because he hangs out with all of us, and he's not like, you know, somebody that we all have to respect and act like our yo-yo senpai. Like he's like, you know, one of our friends, and you know, he has a lot of like his performances like definitely knock the crowd off their feet. So yeah, that just to an extent to that. Yeah.
I think I watched your BAC video and I was surprised at just like everybody hanging around, like not to say like, oh, he's a celebrity, or you know, like, or he's a snob. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like I know he's a really nice guy, but like just seeing him hang out and chat with everybody, like, you know, is exactly like you said there. He's just one of the guys, basically.
Yes, exactly.
There's no lording over people. This one is from Blamin, who is our young friend who is just sponsored by Big Bang Bandolores. And he asks, what are your opinions on the $900 Anglum Tis by something? What do you think about expensive yo-yos?
I have not heard of that yo-yo, but I've not heard of that yo-yo, but the thing about expensive yo-yos. Alright, so I think the most appropriate expensive yo-yo for me, for like a bimetal or a monometal, would probably for a bimetal, I think usually it would go around up to $200 because that's how much a lot of the really high quality bimetals are. And then for monometals, I would go up to around $150. Okay, and then titanium, of course, they're gonna be around $300 because they're titanium. But $900, I think that's way too much. Because I know that I'm gonna sound like every single parent that has ever said this to their yo-yo child, but what is so special that makes it $900? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
$100, $200. I sort of get that because the quality of maybe the finish of the yo-yo, the performance, that makes it worth that money. But $900, I don't think so. I mean, it depends on the type of metal. If it was made out of gold or something, then that would make sense. But $900, that's a little too much for me, honestly.
All right, I totally agree. Next is EOS Draws. Yeah, he's a frequent commenter. What was the worst yo-yo you've played with?
The worst yo-yo I've played with. Let me see. So the worst yo-yo I think I've ever played with, it was a yo-yo that it was actually recent. I got it at a birthday party because they were giving out little party favors and stuff, right? This yo-yo, it was it was a mini one. It was made out of two it looks like bottle caps that are blue and has a smiley face on it, and the string was so bad. It was basically if you took a normal yo-yo string and then you took all the strands off and only left one strand, right? Because you know how the yo-yo string is made up of two strands.
Right,
it was half of one strand. So I tried it, and it was one of those yo-yos that doesn't even spin. You have to let it drop. You can't even throw it. If you tried to throw it, it wouldn't even come out of your hand. That's how bad it was. So you just have to let it drop and let it try to come back by itself, because since it doesn't spin, it'll just go to the bottom and try to roll itself back up. But since you can't throw it, has no force, it won't go all the way back up unless you cheat. So that was definitely the worst yo I've ever played with. And then also on top of that, after 1 minute of trying to play with it, the string snapped. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved, I guess.
Yep.
Your channel is very successful. Any tips for someone who is starting a channel about yo-yo stuff?
Okay, well, alright, so there's one thing. This isn't too big, I guess, but this is one of my pet peeves about people filming themselves yo-yoing, okay? One of my pet peeves is when, let's say they're trying to film a tutorial. They say, okay guys, I'm gonna show you this trick, right? That's fine. But the thing they do, they put their camera on the floor looking up at them. So the way you see the trick is if you were laying down looking up at the trick. And that's a little, I think that's a little dumb, right? Because you can't see the trick. You can only see the bottom side of the yo-yo. So please, if you are going to film yourself doing a trick, do it when the camera is directly in front of you. I don't really care if it's bad quality, bad lighting, bad editing, as long as the camera is directly in front of you, showing yourself flat. It's that's fine. Okay. That's one of my pet peeves that I see some people starting out do. Okay. And then another thing, if you're gonna use your phone, please do not put it vertically. If it's for Instagram, I understand, but nobody wants to see two giant black bars on the sides of the screen. If, let's say you're filming a tutorial, even though you might not know how to edit, just, like, please learn how to edit out mistakes, because one of my other pet peeves, like, they show the trick, like, oops, sorry, I messed up, I'm gonna do it again. I'm like, why didn't you just edit that out? That's a waste of that's a waste of time. Just come on, dude, like, just edit that out. That's one of my other, like, pet peeves about that. But then, otherwise, that's, like, all the tips I would say to avoid becoming a really bad yo-yo YouTuber. Just make sure the camera's in front of you. Like, don't make it vertical. Oh, and edit out mistakes. And one more. Okay, I have one more that just popped up into my head right now. Okay, the one more pet peeve that really triggers me, like, the most is, please do not wear white shirts when you're doing a yo-yo tutorial or a yo-yo video, because I can't not see zilch when you're doing a trick with a white shirt, especially if you're using, like, a white string or light color string. You expect, and you're using a really dark yo-yo, so, like, you expect me to learn the trick, but all I see is a black circle moving between your hands, and then, like, that's not good. So one tip I could give is, if you are going to do a yo-yo video, wear a really dark shirt, or the darkest that you have, and make sure, let's say, like, your yo-yo, this is a tip that I could give. It might not work for everybody, but if, like, try to find a yo-yo that's the same color as your shirt, and then put a brighter string on the yo-yo. That's something that makes it, like, see better. That's one of them. And then also, if you can't do that, just have a bright string, have a dark shirt, and I guess that's it. That's all the tips that I would give to prevent you from being a bad YouTuber, like a bad yo-yo YouTuber. If you, like, exceed all of that, then you'll be on a road to being a good YouTuber, a good yo-yo YouTuber. Yeah.
Very nice.
At least if you're just starting. Yeah.
I'm definitely guilty of the shirt one.
That's okay.
I usually do my videos either before or after work when I'm wearing my work shirts, and then I always go back and I watch and I'm like, ooh. It makes me crazy too. But yeah, I totally agree with getting the mistakes out. That's one thing that really, and maybe it's because I know you do clearly tons of editing.
Thank you.
I do a lot. I find the more videos I make, the more editing I do, and it does make me a bit crazy to watch a tutorial and see, like, like you said, that whoops, okay, sorry, one more. They throw it down. Oh, I got a snag. Okay, I got a knot.
Yeah.
Just a moment here, and it's like, you could just cut that out.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
That's a good tips. Thank you. This person asks, I like stuff and things. Will we see you on America's Got Talent?
Huh.
Would you do something like that?
I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of the yo-yo people on America's Got Talent, but if I was to, I would probably do a legit yo-yo performance, because something that I've noticed about a lot of yo-yoers who do performances in front of a crowd that, is just for a show, not for, like, yo-yo competitions. They do stuff like, they do, like, extreme rock the baby, Eli hops, when I know they could do more than that. Like, I've seen them do a lot more cooler tricks. So if I was to go on America's Got Talent, I would try to give the judges a full yo-yo experience, not just for the sake of, like, showing them that I could do extreme stuff that you could see from far off the stage. Like, I see all these guys doing, lasso, Eli hops, that's okay, but, and then they do some off string, then they do some two-way, but honestly, I don't like getting that image out there, letting people in their minds leave the show thinking that's all the possibilities you could do. No, that's not. There's a lot of cooler tricks out there that you could do. So that's something that I could say about that. If I was ever to go into America's Got Talent, I would try to give them the full yo-yo experience. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I think that maybe that's part of. People always say, "What? How do we push yo-yo? How do we get it into more people's face?" And it's like, I think most people still see it as a toy-like thing, and it's, I do finger spins for people at work or things like that, or any kind of trick like that. I'm trying to get into like hooks and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, but can you walk the dog though?"
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So there is that image, definitely. I think if people push it out there that, like, no, there's this whole branch of tech, and there's this whole branch of speed, and there's that would be productive. And I guess here we'll do our last question. I kind of skipped it over, but it's getting into what you were talking about with technique and giving a different image to people. Peter Hunter asks, first, what was your favorite yo-yo? We mentioned that. What are your favorite yo-yos? He said that. How did you get so damn good? And he says, that's seriously fast. So any tips on getting gooder, and how did you get so fast? Get so speedy?
How did I get so fast? Okay. Something that I think a lot of you guys are noticing, I'm sort of starting to diminish in my speed. Speed was something of like my past. I used to be like hardcore speed, but now I'm sort of in the middle of like flowy stuff. But the thing is, to get fast, alright, it's really not that difficult. You just can't. It's the type of tricks that you choose. Like, if you choose to do picture tricks, you're not gonna be fast, alright? If you're gonna get into, like, techie tricks, you can make techie tricks fast, honestly, you can. Like, take a look at Harrison Lee. Harrison Lee can be really fast when he wants to be, but be techie at the same time. Those are the type of tricks that I try to aim for. Like, I try to put some tech in there, try to make it speedy. Something that I could tell you is, if you want to look more speedy, like if you aren't too fast but you want to at least look speedy, I would say, like, when you're doing your tricks, make a constant flow. Don't do too many pauses in your tricks. Something that I just try to do, I try to create tricks that have a constant flow between your hands, and as I get better at them, it gets easier to do them quicker. So those are the tips that I would give to be a better speed player. And also, learn some more speedy tricks. Like, go on, like, Brandon Vu's, like, tutorials, or maybe Yo Tricks tutorials. Learn some speed combos. Watch some speedy players like Yuki Nishisako or Mark Zuno. Who else? Who's a cool speedy player? Maybe if you want to be like techie and speedy, I would look at like James Pratt or Angelo Aguirre, people like that. But the thing about being fast is just having a constant flow and movement. No pauses, no anything like that. Just a constant flow of movement, and occasionally learning it a lot better, and learning being able to have the ability to do the trick quicker. And yeah, I guess that's all I could say about how you can be fast and how I got fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read that it's basically the drill, right? You just do it and do it and do it until it's like, now doing it normal speed seems slow, kind of thing.
Just a lot of repetition.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do speed. Like, I'm a really slow player, and anytime I start speeding up, I start like stressing out. So,
yeah, it can be stressful sometimes.
But
it'll
it is
burn a lot too. Yes, it is.
I believe that's pretty much it. Okay, so is there anything that you would like to promote, anything you'd like to talk about, you'd like to put into people's... I know your audience is bigger than mine, but in case there's somebody who listens to my show and not yours, anything you want to put into their brains?
Keep yo-yoing. Don't let anybody discourage you. Like, if anybody says your tricks aren't good enough, don't listen to them. Just know that you're going to be a big person one day. You're going to inspire a lot of people just by doing what you do. And if you ever want to start a YouTube channel, just don't give up after posting a few videos and getting a few hate comments maybe. Just keep doing what you do. Just know that you'll inspire somebody, because it's not every day you come across a kid that can do some really cool tricks with the yo-yo. Just keep on yo-yoing, never give up, and buy a Lorenzyo cubing t-shirt. It'll make your life better. I'm just kidding. No, it won't. But just, yeah, that's all I can say, I guess.
All right, pushing that merch. I like it. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Go check out Lorenzyo Cubing's channel, like all his stuff, subscribe to all his stuff, send him nice comments, tell him how awesome he is. Also on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Instagram it's just Lorenzyo Cubing, right?
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
Perfect. And keep in mind, people, that's Lorenz and then Yo, not Lorenzo, and cubing.
Yeah, something that I really like. Some people put Lorenzo-Yo cubing. Like, no, it's Lorenzyo cubing. It's one word. It's catchy,
Nice.
It's cool. That's how I did it.
Yeah, I like that logo, too.
Thank you. And my uncle made that.
Nice. All right. At the end of our shows here, I ask the guests if they want to. They don't have to, but they say to say sayonara at the end. That's our catchphrase on the channel here.
Sure, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, sayonara.
Thank you.